Once again, a very good morning to all of you. And I understand that this Sunday talk is being done every Sunday, right? By a monastic or a layperson, as I saw, for next Sunday. So our topic for today is going to be overcoming the fear of aging, sickness and dying, a Buddhist perspective. I think that is going to be very relevant to all of you, looking at your age. You probably should be young at heart. Well, we look at it differently. I mean, this is the normal popular view, that looking at the outside, external version of everybody and calling that I'm getting old, right? And other people think that, okay, you are an uncle, you are an auntie, you are not girl anymore, you're not boy anymore, right? So this mentality, how do we accept this? Should we have to accept? This is another important aspect. But today, I'm going to be looking at this topic from a Buddhist perspective. All right. So first, let's understand fear before we talk about other things. Before we talk about aging, sickness, death, let's talk about fear in Buddhism. What is fear? Where does fear come from? Ignorance. But generally speaking, how do we understand fear? Is it I would say, natural to come up with a fear to many things in our life rather than to some spiritual, bigger context of our life? I mean, aging, sickness, they are very bigger concept. No? Not many people in their young time suffer that much. Not suffer, go through that much. So in that case, fear can be taken to a very, I would say, unfiltered area of our conversation. That means fear is natural, right? It is natural. Now say for instance, you came for the Dhamma talk today and you sit down and you think that you can sit like this for some time, and you making sure that you can sit for that time, that long. But do you also feel that in case I want to change my posture, is it okay to change my posture? So I mean, fears start from that kind of a very minute, very subtle level of our mind, rather than responding to these kinds of very bigger areas of our life. Most of our fears are irrational. They are not rational, because we get panic because we do not look at how they arise. We do not try to take a look at those fears, the contents of those fears. Now, say for instance, an infant, maybe a baby boy, probably 3 months, 4 months, 6 months old baby infant, is to see that the mother is holding a teddy bear. At that point, she having no understanding of teddy bear, whether teddy bear has life or not, feels insecure at that point. Where does that come from? Does baby have access to society, environment, but he or she feels that something not going to be good for me, right? My mother is comforting somebody, so something wrong over here, I feel very insecure, then trying to show that frustration, right? So fears come from even that kind of a very minor, subtle level. Of course, the baby has no I would say, preparation to understand what it is. It is like sealer to us, right? It is like the sealer. What is sealer? Now you took precepts today morning, right? And I saw there are lots of sutta study, workshops, a lot of programs. not even here, many Buddhist centers, right, across the country, online, everywhere in the world. One of the very key things that they talk about is sila. Now, if you look for the same baby, infant, baby does not kill, baby does not steal, baby does not, infant does not misbehave sexually. He or she had no idea about what it is. Baby does not lie. Children don't lie, for the most part, unless you teach them to lie, right? And they do not take intoxicants to cloud the mind. If so, baby has the superb sila, perfect sila, isn't it? If infants do not break these 5 precepts, what does it mean in other words? Baby should have, infants should have perfect sila. Is it sila? Is it? Avoiding the certain, I would say, the wrong side of the sila is sila. The mere absence of those activities is it sila, or is sila something else? What do you think about it? I think you understood the example, right? Infants don't do anything. So then, can we call the infant having a lot of sila? No. That means mere avoidance of the wrong side of the sila is not sila. Only if somebody is avoiding with intention that I am not killing because killing will lead to this and that. I am not stealing because I know that it is not going to be good for me in samsara and not especially for other people. I am not sexually misbehaving because I am not going to break other people's relationships, and it will come to me in my sansaric journey one day. My marriage will be broken if I do that, this life or maybe next lives. And I am not going to lie because I am going to mislead people if I do so. Not good for my conscience. I am not going to take those stuff, intoxicants, because when I am clouded, I cannot make proper good decisions with self-control and good judgment. That intentional avoidance is sila, not the mere absence of the wrong side of the sila. See, it's very relevant to us. That means we need a certain level of understanding of what we are doing, not just come and listen to the Dhamma talk is good, listening to Dhamma is good. That is your primary motivation, inspiration. It has to go beyond. Why should I learn Dhamma? For what? What will help me with this Dhamma talk? And how will I take myself in my spiritual journey with whatever the Bhante or lay speaker talking about here? So we have to have a plan in terms of all that. So I think when we are not really understood about what we are doing, that insightful level of our mind, I'm not talking about vipassana, that high level, I'm talking about a general understanding about what we are doing, then fears are always waiting for us. They are waiting for us. Fears wait for the person who has no proper understanding of what he or she is doing. It's a natural thing. On the other hand, psychologically and physically, fears can give you a very hard time. You may be sick. Now, it is said that by looking at you getting sick and you are aging, that you are going to die, you will have fears. But at the same time, because of the fear, you will get sick also. Right? One good example is diabetes. Now, there are 2 types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. One of the types occur to somebody not by eating, not by compulsive eating of the sugar kind of stuff. It will happen in your body when you are so much panic and scared about, when you are so much stressed out, right? So that is because of fear. And you know what will happen medically? What's that hormone called? Adrenalina. When you are scared, what will happen in your body? Lot of adrenalina formed within your body, and that will that forming of lots of adrenaline going to attack your deposits of your insulin deposits that are in the pancreas. Then what happens? Your insulins will break down to sugar back again into your body, and that sugars will go everywhere in the body. You get diabetes. Simple way to get diabetes. Just be scared. Have lots of fears. Right? Very interesting thing. That means we have to understand how things happen. That's why the Buddha says, get to know you, get to know your body, get to know your mind. Otherwise, we will always blame the whole thing. Oh, now I get sick. Actually, you were sick because you did not understand how things happen within your body. You had no good lifestyle. You did not eat properly. Maybe you ate too much. Maybe you ate too less. Maybe you went for some unnecessary cults. There are some spiritual cults in the name of Buddhism, in the name of other religions. You were extremely taken away by those cults. Maybe you were extremely taken away by some modern movements. I'm not going to call them XYZ, those ones. So that's why we have to plan our lifestyle. This is a very important thing to avoid unnecessary fears. Right? If you know what it is, then you can make it a place of security. The opposite of fear is security, or kind of a secure position. Where do we hear that the Buddha said to us that absence of fear, security is a blessing? Where does the Buddha talk about it? Now I am going to ask you to think about what you know about basic Buddhism. In looking at all these programs, I understand you have gone to a higher level of, Dhamma by knowledge. Dhamma by knowledge. Insight, application is a different part. So where does the Buddha talk that absence of fear is a blessing? Mangala Sutta. Let's get started from there. How does he say that part? Now we go to the Mangala Sutta. You have to look at it. Okay. How does he say that part? You have Mangala Sutta here in the book. You have the book with you? See, Mahamangala Sutta. Where do you see this part, absence of fear? Yeah, page 13, the 12 and 13, yeah. Where do you see it here? 11. How does the Buddha say that in Pali? Okay. Where is the absence of fear here in Pali? Then one day you should do a sutta study about Mangala Sutta. See, it's very relevant. Kema. Asokang virajang kema. Kema means security, an oasis, security. Right? It's very important. That means the Buddha said, this is the last Mangala, last blessing, 38th one. Puttassa loka dhammehi chittang yassana kampati is one. Asokang is another one. Virajang is another one. Khemang is the last one, because Khemang, absence of fear, is the most important human feeling. When you making a relationship, you're always looking for the security. If you don't feel secure, you don't go to that person. Vice versa, right? If you starting off a business, if you do anything else, you're looking for this security, that sense of fearlessness. But there are people who are fearless to do bad things. That is another side of this issue. So this is very important. That is the 38th blessing, actually, 38th one. Because when we are feared, it is going to be costing our body and the mind. Now, this is fear. But should we have some fears in Buddhism? What kind of fear is that? Hiri ottappa. Hiri means moral shame, ottappa means moral fear. They are given as one of the good cetasikas in the Abhidhamma, actually, and they are called the Deva Dhamma, the morals of the Deva, actually. Deva like people who have Hiri and Ottappa, but that Ottappa is not, it's not a fear that we know, that means, okay, I'm not going to do this bad thing, this will cost me more in the samsara. It's kind of a very understandable, wise kind of a fear. It's not like, I'm getting so scared now, panic. It's not that kind of a fear, right? Hiri Ottappa. Another fear is that we know in Buddhism, samsara fear. The Buddha said samsara is an infinite life journey. It may be good, it may not be good. Don't take a chance. Try to become at least a Sotapan, at least the bare minimum, right? Because then you are making sure you are guaranteed into the purification within 7 lives, right? So this is how we fundamentally look at fear in Buddhism. But there are a lot of other teachings, but we don't have lots of time to talk all that. So then we are looking at overcoming. Yes, we have to overcome, because this overcoming comes from a background where we consciously understand that this is an unnecessary fear, an irrational fear, not a rational fear. So I don't need to get carried away by this particular fear, right? Now, for the 3 types of very larger, broader type of fears, aging, sickness, dying, we could do some mechanism to cope up with them. We could do, but that process has to be done consciously, because they are always in you. Because every time you want to be healthy, every time you want to feel young, every time you want to feel you want to live more, then you try for those 3 emotions, those states of minds as much as you can. But if you lose that sense of understanding any moment in your day, then you will be struggling with aging, sickness and death. That is why it's so important to keep a healthy mentality, mindset about these 3. Now, what's the Pali word for aging? I talk a little bit Pali now. Aging. That means you are not aware of what is happening to you in Pali. Right? Jara, J-A-R long A, Jara. Jara means aging. Aging. Is aging good or bad? No, is aging good or bad? Good to a certain age, not good to from that stage on to another stage. Now there is a baby, we would like to see, are you growing very graciously? So good. And we saw you, and some mothers don't like their children become, big ones, mature. They want to see that small version, right? So We don't look at it that way. So aging means aging, growth. But that growth, whatever the growth, that is happening within us. But after a certain age, it depends on each one's biological clock, it might be different. Because some people getting old very earlier because of their thinking, I think. I always say not about their food style. If they think too negatively, so stressed people, don't have a good sleep, don't have a good mind, they age very, maybe in their 40s they are all old. Even in their 30s they are old. They are giving a lot of pain to the body. It's like a pen. If you are given a pen, if you keep writing the pen the whole day, ink will run out. This body was given to us for a certain age, let's say 70, 80. I mean, I'm looking at today's, not yours, huh? You are more blessed. So, then we have to use the body wisely. We know we are dying, you can't stop it. Even you come to the Dhamma talk or not, even you are Buddhist or you are going to die. You can't stop it. That's not a big issue for us. Our issue is we don't want to die with suffering. We don't want to die with unexpected events. That one we don't want. Other than that, I think we have to definitely prepare for it in a good way. Right? So, jara. Jara means aging. It has to be taken in two ways. Then vyadi, that's the Pali word for sickness. What's the Pali word for sickness? Vyadi. Vyadhi. Do you chant Bojjanga Suttas here? Bojjanga? Seldom. You have an excuse. Seldom. Abadha is another word. Sickness. Another word, roga. R-O-G, roga. These are Pali words for sickness. Right? Even the Arahants got sick. When Arahants got sick, do they go through pain? Very good question. When now you all want to become Arahants one day. By donating, by creating temples and then listening to Dhamma talk, all these good things will lead you to become an Arahant one day. So when you become an Arahant, you can you still get sick? Yes, because you're still carrying a physical body. But when you get sick, do you feel some pain? You should be, because it's a physical body. Arahantship is about the mind, not the body. That's why the Buddha said Arahant has two stages. The true Arahantship come to you when you die, because you finish your body at that point. Then you get to that happiness. So Arahant Mahakashyapa, Arahant Mahamoggallana, even the Buddha himself got sick. When the Buddha went to Gijjakuta and maybe Kalandaka Nivapa also, he asked from the monk, Arahant Mahakashyapa, how are you? Kachite Kassapa Kamaniyang, can you bear the pain? Kachi Apaniyang, can you survive with this pain? Kachi Dukkha Vedana, are your pains going away? And he said, Natti Bhante Kamaniyang, Natti Apaniyang, I cannot tolerate this pain. I cannot survive with this pain. Lots of new pains are coming before even all pains go away. So they are suffering. Even when you become that means just because you become an Arahant, if you have a chronic issue, you won't overcome it. Right? It is an understanding. But they understand the sickness, but they cannot go away from the bodily pain. Right? That's why everyone is blessed in different ways. Some monks were blessed in different ways. Most of monks were not blessed. Right? Karma, each one's karma affects. Sometimes some monks have done more karmas than the Buddha. They were more blessed. Like Bakkula, Arahant Bakkula, Bakkula. It is said even Arahant Bakkula had not even a small back pain. How blessed is he? But the Buddha had all the migraine, all these issues. He lived for 160 years. It's too long, huh? 160. Bakkula, B-A-K-Q. He's the he's the healthiest monk in the Buddhist order. And then Arahant Sivali, you know the Arahant Sivali, a lot of people have the photos of him in front of the door actually in most houses. When Buddha goes for Pindapata, he turns back, asks, is Bhante Sivali in the group? Because then definitely more dana will come. Right? But Buddha didn't get some dana at some point. Sometimes he got dana, somebody took it and gave it to another monk. Because he has done more good. In the same way, you are differently blessed. Although you come here, I bless you and somebody bless you, your individual blessings are very different. Some people are very blessed, truly blessed. They got whoever they want to be with, whatever they wanted, their finances. Nowadays traveling, people like traveling, especially now during the holidays and everything.
We are going to Sri Lanka.
That's another blessed point, going to Sri Lanka. So, blessings affect different people differently, right? So, roga means being sick. The Buddha said, when you are sick, you cannot practice Dhamma very well. So, understanding that sickness can come to us, but we trying to be healthy, because that is very important. Then the marana. I said the Pali word, it's easy for you. What's the Pali word for death? Marana. Marana means death. That means we are dying. How many deaths do we have in Buddhism? Now people die differently nowadays. I mean not the causes, the stages of the death. How many deaths are there in Buddhism? Kind of trying to make some curiosity for you. We have two types of deaths fundamentally in Buddhism. One is Kanika Marana. Kanika Marana means Pali, K-H-A-N-I-K-A. Momentary death. That means we are dying even now. That is why we are aging. You are not the person who came at around 10. By the time you go, something is growing within you. We are momentarily dying. That means momentary death. See, Buddhism looks at it very interestingly. Then the conventional death, Sammuti Marana. One day you will die after getting stopped your heart, for whatever the cause. But scientifically, do they have a definition? It's very difficult for them to say something at the moment. They are still doing some experiments. Where do people die? Now some people die even with the heart is working. We call it brain death, right? The brain is gone already and the individual is on a life support but still living, but cannot talk anything. But the doctor says, you talk to that person, he can hear, she can hear. Brain death. Is brain death mean the death? Does it mean the death? No, still living. Then one day when somebody has to make a decision, maybe to take out the life support, then that person dies. Heart is not going to work anymore. Then is that the death in science? No, they say no. Even heart was stopped at this point for maybe 24 hours, some other organs are still living. There's no biological death come to that person. Biologically, that person hasn't died. That means you can take the eyes, tissues, what are the other things? Some other organs. Then after probably a couple of days, you say, the biological death happened. But for some other scientists, is it the death? No. Some other things are still living, maybe the bones. It's a very complicated term in science, right? Spiritually, yes, death. So, momentary death and the conventional death. All right. So, now we sort of understood Jara, Vyadi, Marana. What are they actually? There is a sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya which is called Ariya Pariyesana Sutta. When you go home, you can look it up. Ariya Pariyesana Sutta. This is very important sutta. This is the only autobiography of the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha. Autobiography. Not somebody wrote about him. His own way of saying his own biography. He said about how things happened to him. In this sutta, he says, I have the noble search in my journey. That is not an ignoble search. Ariya Pariyesana. He said, when someone is going through jati, birth, if that person is not looking for how to get out of jati, birth, that is anariya pariyesana, ignoble search. If someone is aging, changes in the body and all that, but if that person is not trying to become, how to become somebody who is not having aging, we call it ajati, ajati, ajara. That is not a noble search, that is an ignoble search. If someone is going through a lot of sicknesses, back pain, knee pain, other so many things, but if that person is not looking how to get out of these sicknesses, that means to at least becoming a sotapanna, then that is called an ignoble search, not noble search. If many people are dying every day, but none of them are trying to look at the way out of the death spiritually, then that is called marana, not amarana. That is ignoble search, not noble search. So the Buddha says, while trying to understand what is aging, what is sickness, and what is death, and having a very conscious, mindful understanding about how these things happen to us, and then to see the way out of these three things, they are very important aspects of our Buddhist life. Right? Now, what can we do to overcome any fear about these three? Number one, what could we do? Now we know what is aging, what is, I didn't go to many details because of the time, but if you have a question, you can ask at the end for a Q&A. What can we do to overcome the fear? Number one, what are the fundamentals of Buddhism? Buddhist fundamentals say everything is changing, and we have a very bad translation for that, impermanence. And people don't understand what is then anicca. It's a Protestant translation, like many translations given by the Western, I think early European translation, 18th century. They might be bad, maybe they translated along the lines of the Bible, Holy Bible. So it's a doctrine, right, all that. So the first thing that we need to bring to this perspective to overcome the fear is anicca, understanding anicca, how anicca works in my life, in your life. What is anicca again? Again you say that. What could be a good translation? Changes, good and bad change. This is another problem. When anicca comes to people, they think always the bad changes. Do they think about their promotions? Do they think about their success in finances? Do they think about their success in their whatever other things, relationships? Do they think about their good things? What are the other good things? Tell me.
Lottery.
Yeah, you transform yourself, and everything is a change, right? All the time. So all changes must be included in the concept of anicca. So a better translation is being able to accept any change or changes in your personal social life. Now when you say impermanence, do you have this broad understanding? Not that much. Maybe, but not that much. That is why we have to look at it. Is that understanding helpful for us in overcoming the fear, all these fears? Yes. Why do many people feel very uncomfortable in their aging process? Why is it? Because they think they have not lived very well in the past, isn't it? They have not enjoyed their life. Maybe they have lived up to somebody's expectations, right? I was with my kids, I was with somebody, I was with my parents for the whole time, I couldn't even go out, right? They are worrying about their past. Now then, what should you do then? Now you should start adjusting to a new life. That is a physical thing. You should do that. That is one thing you can do, because every moment is very precious, because this moment will not come again to us, right? This moment, we are always trying to be mindful, but this moment will not come again. This moment, 11 o'clock, 11, this will be the past in a moment, because we are at 11:02. Every moment has to be spent wisely. Every moment. About the past, yes, we have mistakes, failures, blunders, and people say they screw up, right? It's okay. Who did not? Even the Buddha did. He spent 6 years of wasting time in our way. He could not go to Majjhima Patipada directly, isn't it? He spent 6 years of time practicing ascetic practices. Did such practices help him to understand his path? Kind of, in a way. But if he had known that they were not really important, what could have they done? He could have definitely practiced Majjhima Patipada, Noble Eightfold Path, and then served 6 more years to the people, isn't it? He could have done so, but it didn't happen. So that means failures, mistakes, they are normal to us, and don't think too much about it. Maybe you had a bad friend, drinking buddies. This is a big issue. Drinking buddies, different buddies are there nowadays. So they are not Kalyana Mittas sometimes. Kalyana Mittas are not people who, you might think Kalyana Mittas mean I always talk about the Dhamma. You can't even talk a gossip about anything, You can't talk about something today. Kalyana Mittas are not always talking Dhamma. Kalyana Mittas are giving you that overall impression. Don't do bad things. Don't do akusala. Once in a while you may talk something like that. But Kalyana Mittas can be understood as people who having a big influence on you, so that you are not doing bad things. That's it. They should not be people when they phone you, the Buddha say like this, this and that. Because Buddha said you should not talk Dhamma at unnecessary times. Right? What is it? Mangala Sutta. Again go to Mangala Sutta. How he says that? You will see it. Here you can see page number 13, stanza number 8. He says, Kalena Dhamma Savana. That means you should listen to the Dhamma during the right time, not in the washroom, not while you are driving the car. So while you are driving the car, you should focus on the road. You are taking a chance. Nowadays, drivers are become very agitated. They don't know. You don't know that how they are driving. Driving time, you should drive well. That is being a very good Buddhist. But if driving time you are going to listen to Dhamma, you are giving more attention to something that is not what you are doing, causing a lot of injuries probably. Plus, even if you are not making injuries, it is not good for the Dhamma, no respect for the Dhamma. not while you are in the restaurant, not while you are cooking. People do that. They are cooking, they open the YouTube. It's a disrespect. Now here you are very much ready, prepared for the Dhamma talk today. Respect. When you have a lot of respect, what I say will go to your mind. When you have a quiet time at your home, you respect, that will go to your mind. Otherwise it will stay here. A lot of people, Dhamma, stay here, don't go to the heart. They stay here, all stay as a knowledge. Never go to heart. They are the same people like the other day. Anything you listen should be able to go to the heart. Because heart is the place where we are going to incorporate everything to practice. The Buddha says, you should listen to the Dhamma at the right time. What does it say? Timely hearing of the Dhamma. Timely hearing, not untimely hearing. Then the next stanza, Kalena Dhamma Sakaccha, ninth one. Timely discussion. Some people want to discuss Dhamma during the party, having the drink. What a bad idea is that? You are drinking now. You are talking Dhamma at the same time. That's not good. Zero respect. Right? It won't help you. Dhamma should be discussed at the right time. Right time means your right time. I don't know what is that time. Your right time. You are ready to listen. You are ready to discuss. Respect. Right? Then you will do it very well. Right? So, the reason why I wanted to tell you is that this anicca is a very beautiful concept. Change, understanding the changes that are happening. So, if you incorporate the changes, being able to understand the changes, that will really help you to overcome lots of fears surrounding all these things. Some people even don't like to talk these words. So, any of these perspectives will be handled very professionally, in a very healthy way, in a very wholesome way. Right? So, two things I told you already. One thing is adjust your life if you have lots of things that you feel, unfinished business, those kind of stuff, in a proper way, wholesome way. Don't do any unnecessary wrong stuff. Right? I remember somebody told me, Bhante, when we were small, my father, mother did not have money to send us to a swimming pool. But nowadays kids are having this as a normal thing, right? Everybody can go to a swimming pool anywhere in the world. Right? I feel my childhood was not good. It's okay. That was your time. But you are now here with us at this time. So adjust your life the way you want to spend that life. That is a very good way to overcome any fears about aging gaps. Then you are not thinking, okay, I couldn't gain access to that thing and this thing. Second thing is, I would say, adjust the life and then look at your past time in a good way, because you should have definitely created some cherished memories in your life. Think about such. And then coming on to the sickness thing, okay, how do we overcome the fear? If you are not spending a good lifestyle, definitely sicknesses will come to you. The first thing that I tell you is that not about the physical sicknesses, mental ones, right? Because we are sick mentally for the most part, sick in terms of getting carried away by lobha, dosa, moha too much. I am not saying that you are able to overcome lobha, dosa, moha all the time, but at least you know when the lobha hits you, now it's lobha. When you are angry, now this is a dosa. Now whatever I do with lobha, dosa is moha. At least you are present with that mindset when they are hitting you. When the attackers attack us, do we know, I'm being attacked now, oh, I'm going to respond to them right away. Right? You have to know it, right? It's like an army camp is hit by the terrorist. Just because they hit, they cannot shoot. They have to know the direction where the shootings are coming to us. They have to know it first. In the same way, when you are attacked with the lobha, dosa, moha, are you able to see those things? So that mental part is very important. Understand where it is coming to me, right? And then you're going to respond, not to react. Is there a difference between react and response? How do we separate out the difference? Let's say now you are getting angry, maybe not now, huh? Don't be angry now. I think you are not going to be angry now. Maybe let's say when you are spending your day at home, let's say you get angry maybe for a small thing. Some people get very angry very easily for a small thing. They can't even tolerate what other people talk. So, what is the first thing that you do when you're angry, maybe jealous or whatever? The first thing. Do you take a moment of time, now I'm getting angry? Or does the anger take you to a different state of mind without you being prepared for it? It does. You don't know what to talk. You don't know what will happen if I talk like this. Right? So the Buddha says that we need that preparation. So they are not, then we are not mentally sick, at least at that level. So getting sick happens fundamentally from our mind, with our emotions. So we needed very good management of our mental states. We have a very interesting acronym for this. If you really interested about it, I would say RAIN, R-A-I-N, RAIN methodology. R stands for recognizing. That means whenever bad emotions, negativities come to you, akusalas come to you, you recognize them, because we don't recognize them. We are simply getting influenced by them, and then we are going to react. And then A stands for once you recognize, then you are going to accept. I am angry now, I am jealous now, I am not good, I think something wrong going on in my mindset. Maybe the people are here, those who are going to attack me, but I understand something going on within me. And after accepting that I am so and so, then I investigate that state of mind, of course bad one, akusala, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. How do I do it? How do we know that we are angry? This is a very good thing. Tell me. Because the Buddha says people know getting angry is bad, but people don't see it during the real time of being angry or with akusala. Isn't it true? Is it true? He says in the Sabbasava Sutta, Janato va passato va, he says. That means you can respond well, not react to any negative state of mind by seeing the issue during the real time. Let's say you are angry. A lot of people know anger is bad, isn't it? Everybody knows. But the problem is they don't see how they are getting angry. If they see, that means knowing is not enough. Seeing should be done too. Knowing and seeing together will respond to the matter. And then you are going to have a healthy transformation, and you are going to win yourself. In Buddhism, we have to win ourselves, not win other people, like in a competition. Atta ahave jitasa, you're winning oneself with the highest victory. Winning oneself means becoming a Sotapanna. You win yourself with your mental issues. So, I means investigate. What is a very good way, easy way to understand you have some problems, akusalas? How do you spot them? Maybe you can tell me what you have done so far. Huh? Noting. Others? How do you recognize there's something wrong happening within you? Now, first, let's say we recognize, mentally we recognize, let's say we note it, and then we accept it. But now I'm asking, how do you understand any indications of that mental issue? What did you say? That's what I'm going to relate to that. Breathing, that is where Anapanasati is important. Now, these lot of people go to Satipatthanas, breath meditation retreats. When they are being asked, how do Anapanasati relate to your Dhamma journey. Is it just I stay here and then, okay, long breath, long short? Is it done? How does it connect to your spiritual path? Is it just breath? There's a different meaning given by the Buddha, Satipatthana Sutta. What did he say? He says, the more you refine your breaths, ana and pana, in breath, out breath, the calmer you are. That means you have to refine your breaths. How do I refine my breaths? If you are not getting angry, you are calmer, right? Because let's say anger, jealousy, maybe other irritations, whatever the things will give you a physical indication. When you say, I'm puffing, my heartbeat is going up and down, I feel a little uneasy. Where are they connected to? Breathing. That is why you have to do anapanasati. You catch the negative issue at the root level. Now today you know now. You catch your negative state, arising of your negative state at the root level, not when it is becoming a whole bunch of tree. So I stands for investigation. So you can investigate your body at the level of breath by physically, mentally, emotion, psychology. Finally, N, R-A-I-N. N stands for non-identification. Now when something happens, what do? Somebody blame me. What do we normally do? Oh, I was blamed by this person. I've been doing so much good things to that person, to you. But I was. So we create this I mentality to that particular event. Blame, and then I bring I to that. I construct I and that event. The Buddha says we have to deconstruct that I and the particular event. Then how do I understand it? Let's say I haven't done anything wrong. If I did something wrong, I have to apologize, definitely. But let's say there is a person who is always blaming, you can't avoid. How do we respond at that point? Okay, this person blamed me 2 minutes ago. Does my previous self still exist that was blamed? No. Anicca and anatta. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. But we think, no, I existed at that point. So I was blamed, attacked by this gentleman or lady. What a beautiful way of looking at this. It's just a transformation of the mind. You can find support. So what we have to understand at that point of sickness is that we are getting mentally sick all the time, most of the time, depending on our capacity, our background, our family lineage, environment, where we were brought up, maybe sometimes genetically. Some angers come from our generations, 4-5 generations before. This happens to First Nations in the West, because their forefathers were attacked by the British. And then still, when even they pass away, their anger goes to further generations. Maybe father was very angry, now son becomes affected with that anger. Maybe mother was a very jealous person, and daughter is getting affected with that jealousy. On the other hand also, it works. Mother is a very beautiful, loving person, it goes to the daughter also. Father also a very good person, it goes to the son also. That means it's not only your issue. You causing your generation to go through that issue also, through the genes. So, I was still talking about the sickness in terms of the mental level. Then what about the physical level? Did the Buddha ask us to take care of our body? Did he? Yes. He said, eat in moderation. That's one of the very good things that you should do to overcome the fear. Did the Buddha say you should eat this, you should not eat this? No. He has no concern about it, because eating goes by cultures. He said, whatever the food you eat, wherever you are, eat in moderation. Don't eat too less, don't eat too much. This is a very big help for you to stay healthy in your physical health. So take care of your physical health as much as you could without creating sakkaya ditthi to your body. Some people, when they maintain their body, they are developing some egos to their body. Take care of your body, but do not create any sakkaya ditthi. You know, that level of greed. Always stay beautiful. I always tell people, stay beautiful. Do your makeup, go to salon, Be beautiful, it's good, it's okay. But never develop any greed towards your body. That's it. Because you need that. And happiness is what will help you to think about something beyond that bodily health. Finally, death. Alright, Buddha is not concerned about the death. He is concerned about killing. We should not kill. Death is certain. He said the people who are really dying are the people who have been pamada, late people. I think you know the stanza. Appamadu amata padang, pamadu machuno padang, so on and so forth. The Buddha said, if you have not practiced Dhamma in time, then you will your death will be a terrible disaster to you. But if you started your Dhamma practice way before in your life, since young time, then you practice, you are happy with your life, then you are able to understand death in time. But unfortunately, most of the people, they are not thinking about Dhamma. When they get sick, only they think about, okay, now I am getting sick, go to the temple and all that. And think about, then that time they are not physically able to do anything. Because the pain is more than their inspiration to practice Dhamma. But anyways, if they think so, it is also a good thing. Finally also, even finally they thought about the Dhamma. So, have your life ready at the same time. Understand death is certain, nobody can avoid your death, but having a healthy perspective of your death in terms of your Dhamma practice in this life is the way how to overcome your fear about the death. So, what can you do? Once again, happy for your past, adjust your life, love yourself. Self-care is very important, and especially if you look at other things, I would say fears mostly arise when you are not really insightful about what is happening in your life. So, give more insights, take your time and bring those concepts like anicca, being able to see the changes in your life so that you are able to understand what is happening. That understanding is the biggest, I would say, inspiration for you to overcome any fear or fears surrounding all these aspects of our life. All right, so we can take a few more minutes before the dana for any questions. So.